It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Peak Fintech stock. Just a quick reminder to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to support your boy Jay. I really do appreciate it. And now let's get into the video. So yes, today I'll be providing an update on a company that I have been covering for a very long time. I watched it grow from sub $100 million market cap to over a $1 billion market cap with a NASDAQ listing happening this week. The first time I brought this company onto my viewers' radar was at $1.25 Canadian. Now, obviously, since then, it has done extremely well and has pretty much done what I would expect it to do. This is a play that was one of my favorites. This is a top 5 pick for me. The stock was relatively quite stable even during the small cap sell-off, and this is a company that I kept buying whenever there was any weakness. Patreon members also got my Peak Fintech warrants buy alert on July 29th at 95 cents Canadian, and now they are well over $5.50 each per warrant. That makes that a 6x in just over a month. Peak Fintech stock did absolutely nothing for months. However, did that detract me from my conviction? Hell no. Again, investing is not about instant gratification. It is all about patience, conviction, and understanding the business model and where it can go. Case in point, having a large position, I have not sold any shares yet. You want to know why? It's because I know and understand where this has the potential to go. However, where I did take profit is from the warrants that I 6x'd on as a hedge. Now, if you haven't seen my previous Peak videos and you don't even know what Peak Fintech is, well, in that case, I would really suggest that you watch the interview that I put out Monday with Peak Fintech CEO Johnson Joseph. It is extremely informative and you'll get to understand what they do. Just as a quick summary, Peak Fintech Group trades as ticker symbol PKK on the CSE and pkkff on the OTC. However, it will be listed as TNT beginning on Thursday on the NASDAQ. It is the parent company of a group of innovative financial technology subsidiaries operating primarily in the commercial lending industry. Peak subsidiaries bring together lending financial institutions and businesses to create the Cubular Business Hub, an ecosystem where analytics and artificial intelligence are used to facilitate transactions among members of the ecosystem. As the company released its stellar Q2 financials, let's take a deep dive on these and go through them in detail. First of all, revenues. Wow. Peak Fintech reported an incredible Q2 that had revenues double versus Q1 of 2021 and quadruple the revenues since Q2 of last year. These incredible results, as per the financials, were due to focus on the downstream part of the supply chain in China and working more with wholesale distributors and their retail clients. In particular, Peak worked with JD.com, one of the biggest Chinese e-commerce companies worth $130 billion US. So yeah, they're retailers and suppliers for almost 2 months during the quarter leading up to this year's China Summer Shopping Festival. And incredibly, the company helped JD.com retailers and suppliers finance 789 transactions worth approximately $200 million Canadian in one day. Also in June, Peak Fintech processed more than 1,200 fund transfer and payment settlement transactions for an approximate amount of $300 million in the month of June alone, when they linked the Business Hub to UnionPay network. And UnionPay, for those who don't know, is the largest card payment organization, debit and credit cards combined in the world, ahead of Visa and MasterCard. And as you see on screen here, the full integration was completed on July 9th. Secondly, one knock on Peak Fintech has always been the expenses. As you can see, expenses also increased significantly since last quarter following the revenue growth. This is due to Peak Fintech outsourcing a lot of their supply chain services. However, according to the financials, Peak Fintech is actively trying to move a lot of these services through their company's Gold River e-commerce and logistics platform, and we should see margins gradually increase. You can already see the impacts of some of these savings as the cost of providing the company's supply chain bundle services went down by 2.2% from Q1 to Q2, which is a major driving factor of Peak Fintech reporting a positive net income. This is the first quarter Peak Fintech reported a positive net income, and it represents a major milestone for Peak. If they can continue on this revenue trajectory while keeping expenses low, they would also be able to exponentially increase their earnings in the near term. Finally, let's quickly touch on the balance sheet. Now, if you were just looking at the cash line, you might be a bit worried that Peak Fintech is running out of cash for its operations with just $2 million in cash in Q2. But let me point you to a recent news release that will assure you that Peak will continue to have a very healthy cash position going forward. In fact, Peak has 21.3 million warrants outstanding that are being exercised, which would produce over $60 million in cash for the company. Safe to say, we won't have to worry about Peak Fintech's cash for quite some time. Now that we've touched on the quantitative side of the business, let's look into some recent news and future catalysts. So on August 16th, Peak Fintech will acquire 100% of the issued and outstanding shares of Cubeler from Cubeler shareholders in exchange for $1 million in cash and 11 million common shares of Peak Fintech. Cubeler is an analytics and AI company located in Montreal, Quebec. The company developed and owns the worldwide commercial rights to the technology at the core of Peak's business hub. CEO Johnson Joseph had this to say about the acquisition. This acquisition is without a doubt the most important transaction in our company's history. It not only gives us complete autonomy on the technology responsible for generating 90% of our revenue, but just as important, allows us to begin the next phase of our vision for the business hub, which is to create a global ecosystem of businesses and financial institutions where analytics and AI are used to conduct business more efficiently. Although Cubeler hasn't officially launched its ecosystem in Canada, there are already small businesses from a wide range of industries and from every province except for PEI pre-registered on the platform. Now, no doubt, this massive acquisition is one of the driving forces of the major share appreciation in the last couple of weeks. This allows for entry into the North American market by leveraging their operations in China and eventually can scale globally. Additionally, Peak plans to revise their revenue projection after the transaction closes, as it is expected to change significantly. Now note that the guidance released before, $104 million in revenue in 2021, was already incredible. And finally, we have the NASDAQ uplisting. Everyone has been waiting for this. The NASDAQ uplisting has been highly anticipated and will finally happen as it was just approved on Tuesday. Peak's common shares will begin trading on the NASDAQ on Thursday, September 9th under the ticker symbol TNT. I'm dynamite. Anyways, this will bring a significant amount of attention to US institutional investors to what will formerly be known as Peak. Now, fintech companies such as Upstart Holdings, which is regularly compared to Peak Fintech, has had an incredible run since its IPO. And we may just see a similar re-rate coming to Peak once they get their NASDAQ listing. UPST, just for starters, is trading at a $20 billion market cap. Now, before this re-rate, are we going to see some sort of dip? I don't know. I mean, a lot of other companies that have listed on the NASDAQ have seen a quick dip on the day of uplisting or the day after. However, with Peak, this could be a different story because of where they stand. So, what I'm doing, well, I'm just going to continue holding my shares, holding, a large majority of my warrants that I still have. And look, I continue to be extremely bullish on Peak Fintech while awaiting the NASDAQ institutional investors to take notice of this amazing company with such high potential. And with such significant catalysts in the near term, it's very easy to see why Peak Fintech has done extremely well even in a small cap market downturn. So thanks for watching until the end, and if this video brought you some value, then please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to really support this channel. I do very much appreciate it. Take care, and see you next time.
Just do it! Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it!